Hello again, Mountain Lions, and welcome back to the Red Mountain Radio. As per usual, I'm your host, Brooklyn Anaya, and today we've got another winter sport for you. In this episode, we explore the RMHS E-Sports team. For those of you who haven't listened in before, in the Winter Sports Insider, we'll discuss everything surrounding high school sports by getting first-hand personal accounts from the athletes themselves. If you're curious for more, check out our last episode, which features Jared Carley and Kyla Lamora from the wrestling team. Our athlete interview for this episode is with esports. Now, I know it is a contested topic. Is esports a real sport? Hopefully, this interview changes your perspective. Visiting the podcast today is Nico Perez and Lhamon. Let's take a listen to that conversation. Hi, everyone. I'm here with Nico Perez.
Hello.
And Lhamon.
Hey, all.
From the RMHS E-Sports team. So thank you guys for being here with me on this Monday. Esports is not like any other sport that we've had on here. This is actually kind of a great time for the Red Mountain Radio. We've had a lot of unique sports on, and esports is one of them. Nobody really knows what you guys do. Can you guys kind of tell me what's up with esports?
We pretty much just play Super Smash Bros. And Rocket League and fight other schools on it.
We'll usually have teams of 3 people and then a few substitutes that can come when people are sick or they can't make it. And every Wednesday, we compete with Super Smash Bros. And Thursdays, we compete on Rocket League. And there's, I think, 30, maybe 35 other schools competing with us. So it's decently competitive.
So do you guys go somewhere to compete or do you stay here?
Most of the time, we do stay at the school because internet is incredible. But every, I think once a quarter, we go into an in-person tournament with other schools.
We just had one this past, I think, December.
Yeah.
And we ended up winning that, so.
Oh, that's awesome. For what game?
Super Smash Bros.
Oh, would you guys say that that's your best game, or you guys...
It's just the game most people join.
Most people join that one?
It is my best game as well. That's what I would say.
It's probably my best game, too.
Yeah, Rocket League kind of gets left to the dust, or...
Yeah, I'm kind of the captain of it, and there's only 3 or 4 people on the team right now, but we play every week, and we make it work, so...
That is awesome. So it's just a tight-knit community that comes together to do something you guys love.
Yeah.
You know? Wow, awesome. What's it like competing with other schools? I mean, you can't see the other team in person per se, but you can see them on the screen. What's kind of the feeling when you're playing somebody that's so far away?
Honestly, I just think of it as them playing as a CPU, and I'm just trying to beat the CPU.
Yeah, it's kind of weird not being able to see them when in a regular sport. You'd have all your opponents, say, on the field for a soccer game, and you'd be able to see all of them and what they're doing. But you kind of have to imagine what they're thinking and play to that.
It's a mental game.
Yeah.
Esports revolves a lot around predicting what other people are going to do before they do it. I mean, other sports do have that predicting aspect as well. Obviously, soccer, as you mentioned, Nico, you're able to see the other team, and so you know what kind of they're going to do before they do it. But for esports, you can't see them, so it's all in the mind.
Yeah, and controller peeking is a frowned upon strategy.
What is that?
When you just look at their controller to see what they're going to do.
And you can't do that if you're...
Exactly.
Yeah. But at tournaments, does that occur sometimes?
Yeah, like I said, once a quarter they occur. Most of the time, it doesn't really change other than you can see your opponent right next to you. We always try to keep sportsman-like appearance, unless there's a Kazuya. Then we're not really so sportsman-like.
Yeah, it's really nice getting to see the opponent actually shake their hand and be able to give them a good game in person. It's different than playing online. It's nice.
Does it raise the stakes a little bit?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It does.
So in the tournaments themselves, there's a whole group of people watching you and watching your gameplay, which does increase the pressure. And your team can also see your gameplay. So if you mess up, it's kind of very stressful.
Because everybody can see what you're doing.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's just like all the other sports.
Just like
football. Hoorah. in a way. So, Nico, you mentioned that the esports team probably has 3 or 4 people on it. What is the camaraderie on the esports team like?
It's really nice getting to support each other, and especially in the Rocket League team where we only have 3 or 4 people, we're really close to each other, and getting to play every week together, it honestly makes us better at the game, being able to communicate and know how each other play. And in the Smash Bros team where we have, I think, maybe 10 or so people, it's really nice getting to see everyone play against each other and either play against their friends or people better than them and have them learn from that.
Yeah, I would agree, especially with like all the different characters on the roster. There's like a couple of us who know most, if not all, the characters on the roster.
For Super Smash Bros?
Yeah, I think like me, you, and Riley would know all the characters. So we can help you with your character. There's definitely a couple students we do that with.
So you guys kind of have that leadership position too.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Would you guys say you're the captains of the team?
I wouldn't say that for all of us. Like Nico and Peter probably. Not me. I'm more of like the president of the club.
Yeah.
So is it a club or is it a sport? Because I've heard two different things.
Whichever group wants to deal with us, honestly.
Oh, so it's kind of passed around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Here at Red Mountain, it's mostly a club, but if you expand and look at esports played in like professional leagues and stuff like that, I think it's more considered as like a more big thing.
More widespread.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting. Other sports, obviously, they have coaches. Football, especially, has a bunch of different coaches for a bunch of different specialties. Does esports have an adult, or maybe not even an adult, maybe just somebody who's really good at what they do that helps to coach the other players? Is there somebody like that with the esports team?
We have a coach, but he's not the most well-known in the games that we play. So I do know other teams that have coaches that are really good at the game, maybe played professionally, and have come back to, teach the kids what they know. And I know that helps them a lot, and I've seen how it can affect the team.
Yeah, it's normally just your fellow players. I play with some of the players during lunch, and we normally play free-for-all, so it's not real true practice. But definitely when we're in like the club or before the game, we do a lot of coaching.
Just kind of team talks, strategy. Is there strategy involved with esports?
Yeah,
there's
definitely.
a lot of strategy, yeah. I feel like the better players on the team, we are able to kind of express that strategy to the rest of the teams and the rest of the people, and I feel like it really helps them have more fun and learn more.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, sports is just about having fun and coming together to do something that you're good at and that you love. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And esports is a sport, which is one thing I do want to address in this podcast. I used to be a firm believer that esports is not a sport. See, but now, after talking to you guys a little bit, I'm reconsidering. What is your guys' stance on, is esports a real sport? What's your stance on the debate?
I'm gonna go with a very popular term, yesn't. In some aspects, it's definitely a sport, and other there's not. Like, the competitiveness is, like, really sports-like, especially, like, when you're fighting against other people in person, because we get really competitive, and especially the team building, too. However, like, it doesn't have the physical activity of a sport, and also most people aren't watching esports games like most sports.
I think when most people try to make the question of the argument of esports being a sport or not, it's based on the assumption that if it wasn't a sport, it would be like less than a normal sport. And I feel that esports as a whole is why it's given a different name. It's a different thing. I don't know if I'd call it a sport. It's more of like a really engaging activity, and I wouldn't go to say that it's a sport. I'd say it's something completely different.
It's its own category.
Yeah.
It's an esport.
Yeah. Esports. Electronic sports. Is that what esports stands for? Electronic sports?
Mhm.
Okay. I was hoping I got that right. That would be embarrassing. Like a lot of other sports, players have sometimes lucky charms that they'll use during or before or after a game to improve their odds of winning. Does the esports team, or do you guys individually have any lucky charms like that? Any routines, items?
Me, personally, I do actually have a lucky charm I bring to every in-sport tournament. I have this little Sora amiibo I bring, and it's the character I use half the time. So he's like my good luck charm, just showing I got this.
Yeah.
He normally does prove better odds. Every tournament I brought him to, we've gotten good results in.
Well, it must be a thing then.
Yeah.
I don't have a lucky charm personally, but I do agree with Tommy. It's kind of cool when you get to bring the same thing to every game, and you know that when you have that, you feel like you do better. Kind of helps you mentally.
Mm-hmm. Like a grounding aspect.
Yeah.
That's amazing. One question that I like to ask all athletes, because they have such meaningful responses, what inspired you to do esports? What was that moment where you were like, oh yeah, this is something that I love to do and I'm going to continue this?
I always knew that I wanted to join. I started playing video games when I was really young. My brothers would play, I'd play with them, and I wasn't the best, but now I'm so much better. And one of my brothers was in esports when he was in, I think, his junior year and his senior year, and I was just a middle schooler, and I saw that you could do that. And I never knew that that was an opportunity at high schools until I watched him do that. And so I wanted to join, and now I've gotten into it, and I've really enjoyed it, my time here.
I'd say there's 3 major events that led me to this. The first major event was when I was a wee lad. My dad had an Xbox 360, and I played all sorts of different Lego games on it, like Lego Star Wars, Lego Indiana Jones, and Lego Pirates of the Caribbean.
The Lego games are undoubtedly the best.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then when I was like 8, my friend had a copy of Super Smash Bros. Brawl we used to play together. He'd kick my butt every single time because he used Meta Knight. And then when I was like 14, my dad got me Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I just loved the game so much. It's a great game.
And that's what inspired you to do esports?
Yeah.
At the high school level?
High school level, yeah.
So, do you guys want to pursue esports into the professional level as well? Is that something in your future?
I've kept it in my mind as an opportunity, seeing as how I've done generally really well at games that I play, and I want to probably sometime soon go out and find a Super Smash Bros. Tournament to compete in, as when I've played online, I've played against professional players before, and although I didn't win, I didn't do bad, which shows that I could do this if I really tried and put the effort in.
Room for improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like not at like the full professional level, but I could definitely do it at like the college level. I'm not as good as Nico. I use like the worst character in the game, but I still like get like wins with him.
So there you go.
Yeah.
It's an option. Colleges like offer scholarships now for that
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
if it helps you get there.
A scholarship would be massive.
So these games, do they have specific aspects that you enjoy more than other games? Maybe that's why you play Super Smash Bros. More than Rocket League? What is that like?
I really like the fact that there's so many characters to choose from. I think there's like a total of 90 on the roster. Like every single character plays differently, other than the Echo Fighters, but they don't count.
Well, I really enjoy the competitive aspect of both of the games, Rocket League and Super Smash Bros., and how they're able to be played at a really high level or be enjoyed casually by anyone that could play them. And I think that right now I've been focusing more on Rocket League, as it's harder to get better at that game, and there's a lot of intricate things that you wouldn't know if you've only played the game a few times, and it's a really big learning curve.
If you're a noob. Yeah, like me, probably. Oh. Now, the games that you guys are able to play, which is Super Smash Bros. And Rocket League, are there more games that you can play, or is it just those on the competitive level?
Well, we used to have a Splatoon team, but no one played Splatoon, which is very unfortunate. Also, we have a league team technically, it's just no one at the school plays league.
And so, depending on what games you play is depending on what people you have that are specialized at those games.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially at Red Mountain. Those are the 4 games we've mainly played, but at a professional level or at a higher level, there's tons of different games that people play and specialize in.
Is there any games that you would want to explore and maybe get good at?
One game I want to be added to the esports is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It's a really fun game to play. Also, I really like Dragon Ball.
Maybe you guys can petition. How does that work? How do you get a game added?
You have to ask like the whole league. It's like really hard to get a game added.
Yeah, it has to go through the MPS district, and they have to approve it since it's played by the entire district.
I think we can't even get a game that's like higher than an E10 plus rating.
Is that like age rating?
Yeah, that's like
they're
an
really
rating.
strict on it, but
So we couldn't even play Smash Bros. Brawl.
How's that different from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, though?
There's very different mechanics. Like, Brawl is more of a casual game because it has stuff like tripping. The characters are more unbalanced, I would say. The game is obviously on a different console. There's less characters. There's a lot of differences, but I don't really play Brawl competitively, nor does anyone really.
I'm pretty sure the only reason that it's rated a higher age is because in that game there is a story mode and some of the scenes have, I think, blood or something, which made them have to rate it higher, but...
Forbid we see blood.
I know,
Oh
right?
no. I cut my finger.
Oh, man.
Dang it. So, stories. This is one of my favorite things to hear from any sports team, esports included. So, do you guys have any lore drops that you would like to share about the esports team? Anything funny maybe that happened and you'll never forget it, and that's what you're going to tell your kids when you're older and you're like, guess what I did in high school?
I think one of the main things was last season during like the spring competitive season, we won every single game up to playoffs and we didn't lose a single one, and then we lost the first round of playoffs.
Oh my gosh.
So it was kind of funny, but it's also kind of sad.
It's ironic almost.
Yeah.
Back in like junior year, first semester, me, 2 other members who aren't here right now, we went to this in-person tournament, and there was this one guy who I loved so much. His in-game name was Banjo Main, and he was really good with banjo, which I've never seen someone use Banjo-Kazooie before.
Is that a player?
That's
It's
a
playable
character.
Character.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Learning, guys.
So yeah, Banjo Main was like, he was doing insane throughout the whole tournament. And then he didn't show up to the next one. All that was left to show his existence was his name on the Switch.
Aww.
I miss him every single day.
Well, hopefully Banjo Main hears this and he comes back to you.
Yeah, I could beat him now.
Oh, competition. Dang, fighting words. To wrap it up, we have a little tradition on the podcast, and it involves trivia. So, very competitive, very high stakes, but you don't really have to move your body. So it's a really great sport, actually. I enjoy it quite a lot. Are you guys up for some trivia?
Of course, yeah.
I'm fine with that.
All right, I can explain the rules. You will have 10 seconds to answer a question after I ask it. And if you answer correctly, you'll get 3 points. And if not, you get nothing. So, all or nothing almost. There will be 3 regular questions worth 3 points for a total of 9 points, and a bonus question worth 5 points. So in total, you can clock out with 14 points. At the end of this winter sports trivia season, the sport that has the most points in trivia will get a Winter Sports Trivia Bragging Rights Trophy. It's a real thing. It's 3D printed. Very cool. Right now, wrestling has the most points with 11 points. So, do you guys think that you can beat them?
I think we'll give it our best shot.
Oh yeah, we got that in the bag easily.
Yeah. Easy dubs. First question. True or false? Esports was the newest sport to be featured in the 2024 Paris Olympic Games.
True, it was one of them.
I think it's false. I don't think it was the newest one.
You guys have to agree.
Hold on.
I don't think it was the newest one.
Well, hold on. Like, do they introduce all their sports at the same time or no?
Well, if it was featured previously, I don't think it was in the Olympics.
It wasn't in
Pretty
the
sure
Olympics previous. I thought it was in the 2024 Olympics.
Well, the newest one is breakdancing. They just got added last Olympics.
Do they only add one Olympics game per thing?
I don't know, but I'm like 99% sure it's breakdancing. So
I
I think it's false.
You know what? I'm gonna believe you, Nico. I'm gonna say it's false.
False? That is correct. Esports was not included in the 2024 Paris Games, but it's set to be inaugurated into the Olympics this year in Saudi Arabia. So it'll be in the 2028 Games.
Okay, that's where I heard it from. Yeah, I think it's just a bunch of crappy mobile games, though.
Yeah, probably.
All right, the next question. So you guys have 3 points. Keep it up. And yes, you guys can talk to each other, use each other for help, all right? This game was created in 1958 and considered to be the first video game of all time. It features 2 sliding white bars and a circular dot on the screen. What is this game called?
I believe it's Pong.
It is Pong.
That is correct. So you guys have 6 points now. So if you get the next one right, you'll have 9 points. And then all you'll have to do is get the bonus question right to get 14 points. And you will officially be at the top of the trivia winnings. All right, guys? This is the next question. One of the most famous Twitch streamers of all time, coined for their unique blue hair, was the first gamer on the cover of ESPN magazine. Who is this gamer?
So, I believe he has a massive meme right now about him getting a low taper fade. It's gonna be Ninja.
That is correct. So you guys have 9 points currently. If you guys get the next one, you'll be at the top of the trivia standings, and you will have maxed out all your points. So who knows what will happen? Maybe you guys will win. That'll be interesting. And you actually mentioned the answer to this one.
I did?
Yes, so either you're going to remember it, or it's going to be wrong. So who knows? Hopefully you remember this one. All right, this is the bonus question. Last one, 5 points. How many playable characters are in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate without the DLC? I will take answers anywhere within 3 numbers of the true answer.
Without DLC?
Without the DLC.
Counting Pokemon Trainer as one fighter?
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's 69.
No? It's more than that.
Oh, it's it. I thought Incineroar was number 69.
Yeah, but there's more than 79.
Oh, there's more after.
Lock in your answer.
With no DLC, I think it is around 72.
The correct answer is 69.
Oh, I told
But
we're in 3.
But 72 falls within the 3 question mark. So you guys got that question right.
Oh, let's go. Gaming, Nico.
So you guys are the first team to get 14 points in the winter sports trivia. So that is super exciting. If anybody else manages to get 14 points, then I guess we'll just have to have like a tie-breaking round. Maybe like an arm wrestling competition or...
Oh, yeah. Bring the esports guys to the arm wrestling competition. That's fair.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, congratulations, guys. That's amazing. I was super hoping you would get them all right. So...
That's really cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for being here today. You guys were just amazing to talk to, and I'm so glad that we were able to get the esports team some more recognition on their hard work and effort.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having us.
Yes, of course. Everyone, that was Nico Perez and Tommy Lhamon from eSports. eSports has matches every Wednesday and Thursday featuring Super Smash Bros. And Rocket League at 4 p.m. after school. Make sure to come out and support the RMHS E-Sports team. Well, listeners, that's it for this week's episode. We heard some great stories and got great insight on esports with athletes Nico Perez and Tommy Lhamon. Coming up, next time on the Sports Insider, girls basketball. Tune in next time to get all the insights on the basketball team here at the Red Mountain Radio. Thanks again for tuning in to Episode 9, Season 4 of the Winter Sports Insider, featuring Nico Perez and Tommy Lhamon. Thanks to them for joining me today. You can follow us on Instagram at Red Mountain Radio, spelled REDMTNRADIO, to receive updates on episode drops and fun behind-the-scenes insights. I'm your host, Brooklyn Anaya, and thanks again for joining me for the Sports Insider episode. Today's episode was written by Brooklyn Anaya. Our directors are Brooklyn Anaya and Connor Sampson. Our producers are Mr. Kelly from RMTV, Brooklyn Anaya, and Connor Sampson. Our sound engineer, Connor Sampson. And thanks to Connor Sampson for mixing and editing the sound. And thanks to our special guests for this episode, Nico Perez and Tommy Lhamon. Thanks to them for joining me today. And last, but certainly not the least, thanks to you, listener, for tuning in. Your support is what keeps us making episodes. This was Season 4, Episode 8 of the Red Mountain Sports Insider on eSports by the Red Mountain Radio. And my mom wanted me to say that she was a boss at Pong in the 70s.